Yeah, everyone, welcome to the UCATT FC channel. I'm an Aussie, but I'm making Premier League content, football content, mostly around Europe, but all around the world. Today, we'll be kicking off this channel with my 2021-22 Premier League predictions. So, on this channel as well, you'll be seeing live reactions of the games, a lot of games. So yeah, make sure to subscribe if you do enjoy it. If you're new and you've just seen this football channel, my main channel, if you're Australian and you know the sport Australian Rules Football, go subscribe to that, link in description. So, alright, here we go. So, kicking it off with 20th place, the bottom of the table, rock bottom. Who's getting relegated? I've got Norwich City. Now, Norwich, I didn't watch I didn't watch any championship last year. And if I'm being honest, I had a look at their roster and they've got no one of note. They've got no one that's going to give them the X factor of even like mid-table teams like Everton, Aston Villa, Wolves, Arsenal. Have I just leaked that I think Arsenal's going to be mid-table? Who knows? But yeah, I don't see any X factor in Norwich, and I think they're going to finish rock bottom quite comfortably by even like 5 or 10 points. I just don't see Norwich making any impact this season. In second last position, in 19th, I have got, going back down to the Championship, Watford. Now, as much as Ben Foster, the Cycling GK, has a phenomenal YouTube channel, I don't see how Watford are going to really contend. When I initially did these predictions, I had Watford 16th or 17th out of relegation zone, and I still think they might not get relegated, but it's not looking great for Watford. Now, Watford finishing second last season behind my predicted rock bottom Norwich City. They were 6 points off top. So, yeah, Norwich down, Watford second bottom. Who have I got in third bottom? Do I have Brentford, the third team, to get promoted? No, I don't believe Brentford will get relegated. In fact, in 18th position, I have got Southampton. Look, again, like Watford and Norwich, they don't have an X factor. I think Ward-Prowse could be pretty solid for them this year. He could even maybe push for maybe a top 20 player in the league. But Southampton, they had a poor end to the season last year in the Premier League the past few years. They haven't really looked like they belonged a heap. Yeah, I've got Southampton going back down to the Championship this year. I've got them in 18th. Now, narrowly missing out on relegation in 17th position, I've got Crystal Palace. Now, Crystal Palace, they're looking a little bit shaky this year, in my opinion. I don't think they'll contend at all. Now, they've been a mid-table side for a long time in the Premier League. It's not often you do see them get relegated. But Palace, yeah, the future's not looking great right now. Now, Benteke has just signed a contract extension, I think back in June with Palace. I think he could have a solid season with them this year. He's really the only X factor that will bring maybe any chance of not getting relegated to Crystal Palace. I've got them in 17th. Now in 16th place, third in the Championship last year, I have got Brentford. Now I do think Brentford, they'll stay in the league for the next few years. I think that they've got a pretty bright future. Now they will have the first game of the season. They will host the first game of the season versus Arsenal. Tony, I think he is going to have a big season for Brentford if they don't want to get relegated. He's a star. That's all you have to say. Could even push for maybe top 10 in the Golden Boot this year. He's a very, very solid striker. If I'm being honest, I don't know any of the other Brentford players because, again, they were in the Championship last year, and I didn't watch Championship last year at least. In 15th, we have got Brighton and Hove Albion. Now, I don't mind Brighton. I don't mind Brighton at all. Last year, they finished 16th. This year, I've got them 15th. I don't think they'll have much of an improvement. They had a pretty poor end to the season last season. They weren't racking in wins very regularly. They were holding on for a few pretty good draws against teams like Chelsea and West Ham, who, I mean, surprisingly, obviously made Europa League. But, yeah, I don't think Brighton will make much of an improvement this year. In 14th, they could finish a lot lower, but I've got them in 14th. I've got Newcastle. St. Maximin, obviously, will be a massive player for United this year. I think Newcastle will really, if they want to finish 14th, beat a few mid-table sides, or even a few Europa League contending sides like Leicester, Tottenham, West Ham, Leeds, Arsenal, guys like that. Or teams like that, sorry. So yeah, Newcastle, I don't think they'll have the worst season, but I don't think they'll have the best. I've got them in 14th. In 13th, I have got Burnley, who I think will stay in the Premier League. And I actually think they'll have a pretty solid season, if I'm being honest. Yeah, ever since like 2014, 2015, Burnley have been in the Premier League pretty consistently. I think they got relegated in about 2016. But other than that, since then, they've been in the Premier League consistently. They've been a below average to mid-table team. And I think that will continue. I think Burnley really, in the next transfer window, or in this transfer window even, need to make a pretty bold signing to really state their claim in the Prem. In 12th, we've got the Wolverhampton Wanderers. I think Wolves are one of the most underrated teams of the league. I really rate them. You obviously got Traore, Neves, Jimenez. There's a lot of players for Wolves. There's a lot to like about them. I mean, Ruben Neves, I even think he could be good enough to play for a super team like City, Chelsea, United. I think Wolves are very lucky to have him, and they need to do everything they can to hold on to him. And obviously, Adama Traore is absolutely phenomenal. I think Wolves could even sneak it or pinch a few wins against a few top four sides. I really do like how they play. It's a matter of how consistent they are this season. That was a problem for them last season, but yeah, excited what they have in store this year. In 11th, I've got Everton, almost racking up dead mid-table, but just below mid-table, I've got Everton. Alright, now, I'm not sure if you know, but I don't believe Sigurdsson will be playing for Everton this year. Obviously, Rodriguez, Richarlison, they've got Jordan Pickford in goal, coming off an incredible Euro 2020 campaign with England. They've obviously got Keane, who apparently Inter Milan are currently interested in. That would be insane. Now, obviously, Everton sent him off on loan to PSG, and apparently PSG aren't against, like, actually buying him, not just with the loan, so that could be massive for them. But I think Everton will hold on to him, use the most of his talent, and yeah, can't wait to see what he can do. Now, coming in, dead mid-table, 10th place, Aston Villa. Now, obviously, a massive blow for them with Jack Grealish signing with Man City, which just stacks them even more. I think they'll bounce back and have a pretty good Premier League campaign this year, even without Grealish. I think they've been lucky to complement with someone like him over, well, a long time, really, the past few years. And yeah, I think they will all work together really, really well. They've got good chemistry on the pitch, Villa. And yeah, I reckon that they will finish in 10th place. In 9th, I've got Arsenal. Now, salty Arsenal fans incoming. Look. I see Arsenal at the floor finishing 9th, which is where I have them right now. But I don't see a way why they can't sneak into Europa League and Champions League. I don't see why they can't, because they've got the players to do so. They've just signed Ben White from Brighton, which is a big signing. They've got Bukayo Saka. I've got a guy like Hector Bellerin in defence who will be big. Kieran Tierney just signed a big contract with Arsenal about a month ago, so that will be big for his confidence and for the team's confidence. I don't think they'll have a bad season by any means, but I don't think they'll have like a fantastic season. I think if they finish in Europa League, that's a win for them. In 8th, pushing on the border of a conference or Europa League place, I have got Leeds. Now, Leeds had a phenomenal season last year, and I only see them growing into a consistent European side over the next few years. Obviously, they've got a phenomenal striker in Patrick Bamford. They've got Calvin Phillips. They've just signed Junior Firpo. They've got Rodrigo as well. They've got so many international stars, which will all bring them together. They'll work very, very well. As well as that, they've got a phenomenal home kit. Maybe that could get like that's bullshit. But I really, really love Leeds this year. I'd like to see them do well this year. I'd really like to see Leeds do well this year. Except for match day 1. Coming United. But yeah, I see Leeds having a good season. By the way, Man United Leeds, I may be streaming. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I may be. So keep a lookout for that. Now, in 7th place, in a Conference League position, I've got West Ham. West Ham, obviously, shocks everyone. People were saying West Ham were going to get relegated, be 16th, 17th. I've got, they finished Europa League last season. What's not to love about that? I've got them finishing in 7th, and there's a reason why I don't think they'll play Europa League or even Champions League. It's because I don't think they've got that enough experience with playing European football. That they'll have a really tight schedule, obviously, with Carabao Cup football, FA Cup football, Premier League football, and Europa League football, Obviously, the super clubs like City, Chelsea, United, Liverpool, even Leicester, when they play European football, they handle that really well. But West Ham, without that lack of experience playing on the continental stage, I think fatigue will set a big factor. Obviously, they've got Declan Rice, who is big in the midfield. He's been linked to a few transfers in the window, but he most likely will stay. Thomas Souček, big for them as well. And yeah, West Ham, really excited to see what they can do this year. Moving into the first Europa League spot in 6th, I've got Tottenham Hotspur. They're in the Conference League this year. Will they win the Conference? No, they won't win the Conference League. They won't win a trophy by any means. Now, I mean, what is there to say about Tottenham? Like, on paper, they should be a very good team. They've got Dele Alli, they've got Hugo Lloris, they've got Son Heung-min, they've got Harry Kane. There's a lot to like about Tottenham. And it's just, why aren't they pushing for Champions League consistently? Because on paper, they've got a phenomenal team. They've got guys like Eric Dyer and Ndombele as well. It's a good team. They've even got Højbjerg. But Tottenham just... There's something with Tottenham where they can't beat sides like Liverpool, Chelsea, Man United, Man City. They can't beat sides like that, which is really going to affect them. And just sometimes in the season, they have just like a massive form slump where they start losing to sides like Brighton, Newcastle and Burnley. Like, you can't be doing that if you want to push for Champions League. So yeah, wouldn't be surprised if they do make... Actually, I probably would be surprised if they make Champions League. Because they should be with the players that they have. But I've got them in 6th place. In 5th place, the final Europa League team, I've got Leicester. Now, Leicester, for some reason, can never make top 4, except when they won the league a few years ago. Obviously, Jamie Vardy, James Maddison, Kasper Schmeichel. They've got a lot to like. Tielemans. Yeah, Leicester, they've had good chemistry over the years. Haven't made a massive impact in the transfer window. But, yeah, I think they'll just have another solid season next year. Possibly contend for top 4. Now, Champions League place. In 4th, we've got Liverpool. Now, the thing is, I see Liverpool finishing 5th. I see Liverpool playing the Europa League. But I also see Liverpool finishing top. There's just such a big gap on where Liverpool could finish. They'll be top 5, top 4, no matter what. But the fact is, if their players will step up to the occasion, because they've definitely got a side that can win the league. They've got Mo Salah, they've got Virgil van Dijk, Sadio Mane, Alisson, Roberto Firmino, Diogo Jota. They've got so many players that just combine so well together. They've got such good chemistry, and with Jordan Henderson leading them out there, I think he's a very, very solid leader. Trent Alexander-Arnold at right back will be massive for them. I just think that, it's chemistry. That's what it comes down to. It's chemistry and whether they really want to win the league or not. Because I've got them 1st or 5th. Who knows? I've got them in 4th. In 3rd place, we've got Man United. Now, Man United, they're like Liverpool. I see them dropping out. Do I see them? No, I don't see us dropping out the top 4. I think we're a top 4 side. I see us finishing either 4th, and I see us winning the league. It's as simple as that. I could see us winning the league, but I've got us in 3rd. Obviously, our defence is going to be incredible. Obviously, with De Gea in goal, Luke Shaw left back. We've got Aaron Wan-Bissaka right back with Rafael Varane. Still haven't announced him yet. They should announce him pretty soon. And obviously, with Harry Maguire, Maguire and Varane centre-back is just... It's going to be very hard to score goals against United. Wan-Bissaka and Luke Shaw, obviously very solid as well. In the midfield is our biggest weakness. Like, McTominay and Pogba, they'll probably rotate through. Might even play McTominay and Pogba together. They've got, McTominay and Fred is what Ollie loves to play. Yeah, I swear, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, please do not play McTominay and Fred in the same lineup. They are useless. Look, I don't mind Fred on his own, and I don't mind McTominay on his own, but together they don't work. Like, a Pogba and Fred would work, and then obviously up front, the massive signing of Jadon Sancho running down the right midfield, then obviously Marcus Rashford on the other side, Bruno Fernandes, and Edinson Cavani up top. I think Bruno's going to have the season of his career. Bruno will complement so well with Sancho, Rashford, and Cavani. Those forwards and those backs, they'll combine very well, but the midfield is what needs serious work. And it's also whether Ollie decides to play Dean Henderson or David De Gea in goal, because De Gea is just he's just a much better keeper. It's as simple as that. Like, we shouldn't be playing Dean Henderson unless it's against a side like Watford or Norwich or in a Carabao or FA Cup game in the early rounds. That's all you're playing Dean Henderson in, to gain some experience, because when De Gea does retire in a few years, Henderson is who you need. But at the moment, De Gea is still the superior goalkeeper. In second place, I was switching so much between City, Chelsea, who's going to win the league? I've settled in second place, Chelsea. That's right, they've just won the Super Cup against Villarreal. I really wish United were in that Super. I'm not going to talk about the Europa League final. Timo Werner, I feel like he's going to prove all the doubters wrong. I think he's going to have a massive season. N'Golo Kante, people are suggesting a Ballon d'Or. I don't see why that can't happen. Mendy in goal is absolutely phenomenal. Mason Mount, he'll develop more than ever. Jorginho, Mateo Kovacic will also be big. Chelsea just have such a good roster that work together consistently. They've won a Champions League, they've just won the Super Cup, and I think that they could very, very well win the league. But in first place, it's Man City. It's such a boring answer. Like, Man City just probably will win the league. Like, look, I had Chelsea all the way, and then I go on social media. Man City signed Jack Grealish. Oh, what the fuck? Yeah, so they've got Jack Grealish now. They've got Kevin De Bruyne, obviously, Phil Foden, Raheem Sterling, Ruben Diaz. I mean, Ruben Diaz obviously won the Player of the Year last season. He was incredible. They've got Zinchenko, Gabriel Jesus, Gundogan, Ederson in goal, Bernardo Silva, Fernandinho, Rodri, Joao Cancelo, Benjamin Mendy, Kyle Walker, John I'm just going through their list of players right now. They're stacked. Like, they are stacked. Like, it's either City or Chelsea win the league, but if City win the league, they'll win it by 15 points. Because I think there's such a big gap between... I mean, there's no big gap between City and Chelsea, but if City do win the league, they'll just go on a massive mid-season run and just run away from a team like Chelsea, United, Liverpool. And yeah, I've got Man City finishing on top. So yeah, that is today's video. Hope you did enjoy. Make sure to subscribe to UCATT FC. Lots of Premier League and other football content coming during the season. Be doing a few Champions League watch-alongs when that's on. Lots of Premier League, and yeah, thank you guys for watching. Have a good one, and see you later.